Chapter 1131, Announcing the Result. After making the decision, Jian Wushuang immediately spent 210,000 fire points to exchange the blaze quicksand gourd. Later, he returned to his residence. He sat cross-legged in the secret chamber alone. Jian Wushuang, this is a high-grade blaze quicksand gourd. Although you have obtained it, you still have to take a lot of effort to refine it. As for the secret skill in it, it is even harder for you to cultivate. You should refine the blaze quicksand gourd first. Asked Jiu King. I see. Jian Wushuang nodded and then began to refine it. Just as he was refining the blaze quicksand gourd, a big event took place in the Green Fire Palace. Right on this day, Sunrise Sword Emperor, one of the palace masters of the Green Fire Palace, directly announced the person who was qualified to enter the Sword World 40 years later. The Green Fire Palace controlled 3 secret lands which opened at set intervals, and only one person was allowed to enter. Therefore, people vied for the opportunity to enter them crazily. Take the Sword World for example. It only opened every 100,000 years. Thus, the experts who specialized in sword principles were all waiting for that chance. Now, however, Sunrise Sword Emperor announced the owner of that chance personally. It turned out to be Jian Wushuang. All of a sudden, the entire Green Fire Palace was thrown in turmoil. It actually is Jian Wushuang? He has just joined the Green Fire Palace for less than 100 years. Who said that the decisive factor to get into the sword world is the time one has spent in the Green Fire Palace? Nan had been to the space-time secret land, although he has only stayed in the Green Fire Palace for a short period. Although Jian Wushuang has just stayed in the Green Fire Palace for a very short period, he has made great progress. He killed about 20 experts from the Jin Kingdom at one go in the Battle of Scrambling for the Danshin Palace. Moreover, he has seized 3 Nirvana elixirs under the nose of the Jin Kingdom's experts. He has made great contributions to our Green Fire Palace, and I argue that this opportunity is the reward for his hard work. Our Green Fire Palace has always put the shoe on the right foot. Since he has made contributions and his gift in sword principles is fantastic, he will surely gain a great deal after returning from the sword world. Maybe his strength will skyrocket again and reach the level of that of our palace masters. Many celestial masters discussed that in the Green Fire Palace. However, generally, there was no one questioning Jian Wushuang anymore. After all, in the battle for the Danshin Palace, Jian Wushuang had proved himself with absolute strength. Currently, celestial masters in the Green Fire Palace did not dare to belittle him. On the contrary, quite a few celestial masters secretly admired him at the bottom of their hearts. Jian Wushuang did deserve their admiration. The celestial masters in the Green Fire Palace accepted the decision to offer Jian Wushuang the opportunity to enter the sword world. By the way, I heard that not long ago, several temple masters had the intention to let Celestial Master of Malignity enter the sword world, but now Jian Wushuang gained that opportunity. How about Celestial Master of Malignity? They just plan to do so but have not made up their mind. And now that Jian Wushuang obtained this opportunity, he, of course, can only wait for the next time. The next time? To wait another 100,000 years? He, Celestial Master of Malignity, is by no means good-tempered. I don't know if he will cause Jian Wushuang trouble or not after learning the news. These celestial masters sighed with emotion. In an enormous palace in the Green Fire Palace, Celestial Master of Malignity received the information Sunrise Sword Emperor sent to him as well. As those celestial masters expected, he flew into a rage immediately. Bastard! This opportunity is mine. Tens of thousands of years ago, the 5 palace masters have reached a consensus in their hearts. Not long ago, I also personally asked Senior Sister Red Lotus about that, and she told me that they would offer me this opportunity. But now, Celestial Master of Malignity looked ferocious and took out a token. Senior Sister, I need an explanation. Celestial Master of Malignity sent out the message. The 5th Palace Master of the Green Fire Palace was Red Lotus. She and Celestial Master of Malignity were born in the same era and they came from the same sect, hence, she was Celestial Master of Malignity's senior sister. This is the decision made by the other 4 Palace Masters. Although I tried my best to oppose it, I have to follow the rules. Red Lotus replied. Red Lotus did not think much of Jian Wushuang. When the 5 palace masters gathered in the ancient monster clan and Jian Nantian demanded to take Ji Wuming away, Red Lotus planned to take actions directly. He trusted neither Jian Nantian nor Jian Wushuang. Unfortunately, only she insisted to do that. The other 4 palace masters chose to believe Jian Nantian and Jian Wushuang. When Jian Wushuang joined the Green Fire Palace and experienced the battle for the Danshin Palace, his fame soared. Furthermore, his potential and strength convinced many celestial masters in the Green Fire Palace. Nevertheless, Red Lotus still held on to her own opinion. She opposed strongly when Sunrise Sword Emperor proposed to offer the opportunity to enter the sword world to Jian Wushuang. But the other 4 agreed, so she had no other choice. Jian Wushuang, Jian Wushuang. It's Jian Wushuang's fault. How long has he been in the Green Fire Palace? Didn't he just attain a few Nirvana elixirs in the battle for the Danshin Palace? Except for that, how can he compare with me? Why should I wait for another 100,000 years instead of him? Celestial Master of Malignity roared crazily and his roars resounded through the entire palace. After a short while, his eyes turned scarlet. Jian Wushuang, I'd like to see what are you capable of. After finishing speaking, he stood up and walked straight out of the palace. Jian Wushuang still sat cross-legged in the secret chamber quietly and a gold gourd floated in front of him. It was not big, just like an ordinary wine gourd, but it exuded an extremely unique aura. As Jian Wushuang lifted his eyebrows, a special mark was left on the gourd. In an instant, he had a connection with the gourd. I succeeded. Jian Wushuang opened his eyes, from which visibly pleasant surprise was revealed. Great, you've refined the Blaze Quicksand Gourd. You should be able to control the Blaze Quicksands in the gourd, said Jiu King. Of course. Jian Wushuang nodded and could clearly sense the enormous and terrifying force contained in the gourd. It was the Blaze Quicksand. It appeared to be a gourd, but in fact, there was a vast space where Blaze Quicksands could be seen everywhere in the gourd. Chapter 1132. Battle Invitation. Vroom. Jian Wushuang thought and the Blaze Quicksand instantly burst out from the gourd. Rumble. The crimson blaze quicksand covered the sky and earth. There were rays of flame that flowed along with the quicksand too. They flowed in all directions like a storm. The secret chamber that Jian Wushuang was instantly shattered into powder. The terrifying force made the entire void collapse. So scary. Jian Wushuang was astonished at the sight. Everywhere that the blaze quicksand passed was destroyed and vanished. Its strangling power was extremely terrifying. Such a terrifying strangling power. Even if a celestial master was caught in it, I'm afraid he would be torn into pieces too, Jian Wushuang thought to himself. Just then, King of Venomous Worms spoke. To begin with, blaze quicksand is a scary substance in eternal chaotic world. The blaze quicksand gourd was made by some powerful weapon refinery masters. They gathered blaze quicksand together and refined it into this gourd. The moment you refine this gourd, you can control the blaze quicksand in it to fight against your enemy. On top of that, you are only a beginner in refining this gourd. You can only forcefully drive the blaze quicksand to kill your enemy, which is the dumbest way to do it. If you were to master the secret skill within the gourd, you would be able to control the blaze quicksand and use the regional skill. With the regional skill, you wouldn't even have to take any action, but the strangling power of the blaze quicksand would kill any advanced celestial masters who fall within. Without any action, I can kill an advanced celestial master. Jian Wushuang's eyes were wide open. One should know that an advanced celestial master wasn't considered weak when it came to defense skill. Jian Wushuang massacred many experts from Jin Kingdom during the fight of Danshin Palace because he knew the sheer shadow technique. However, there were hardly any advanced celestial masters. Once Jian Wushuang ran into those advanced celestial master with strong consciousness, he would find them hard to kill. But then, with the assistance of Blaze Quicksand Gourd, it was very simple to kill an advanced celestial master. Even if he were a celestial master in exceptional realm, he might die by his hand if his power wasn't as great. This treasure lives up to its value of 210,000 fire points. This Blaze Quicksand Gourd is really impressive. However, if this is such an impressive treasure, Why didn't the few palace masters in Green Fire Palace exchange it? They left it at Fire Point Exchange Office. Jian Wushuang was curious. He didn't think further but quickly put the blaze quicksand gourd away. The moment he put it away, the secret chamber quickly repaired itself. On the piece of land where Green Fire Palace was located, any buildings and plants could recover themselves. Then, Jian Wushuang was preparing to study the secret skill within the blaze quicksand gourd, but suddenly, Jian Wushuang. There was a deep voice. Jian Wushuang lifted his head and went ahead to greet Celestial Master Yu Ding. Jian Wushuang saw the incomer, Celestial Master Yu Ding, who invited him to Green Fire Palace back then. Haha, Jian Wushuang, how long has it been since I brought you to Green Fire Palace? You've already gained such fame on the battlefield. Haha, everyone knows you in Green Fire Palace. Celestial Master Yu Ding laughed. Jian Wushuang chuckled and replied, Celestial Master Yu Ding, you didn't come here to tell me this, right? Well, I didn't. Celestial Master Yu Ding became solemn and continued, Jian Wushuang, to be frank, I am here by a request. By a request? Jian Wushuang was stunned. Someone told me to give you this. Take a look. Celestial Master Yu Ding passed Jian Wushuang a jade slip. Jian Wushuang took and went through it simply with his consciousness. Then, his gaze grew strange. This is a battle invitation. Exactly. The content of the jade slip suggested a battle invitation. It was a battle invitation from Celestial Master Malignity. He invited Jian Wushuang to fight at Oblivion Palace. The battle invitation contained an intensely mocking and provocative tone. Celestial Master Malignity. Jian Wushuang creased his eyebrows and asked confusedly, I don't know Celestial Master Malignity and I share no resentment with him. Why did he send me a battle invitation out of nowhere? Jian Wushuang, you share no resentment with Celestial Master Malignity, but to be exact, you did offend him, Celestial Master Yu Ding replied. I offended him? When? Jian Wushuang was still confused. Didn't Sunrise Sword Emperor just announce that he'd give you the quota to enter Sword World? Celestial Master Yu Ding looked at him. Yes, he did. Jian Wushuang nodded faintly. Sunrise Sword Emperor told him that outside Danshin Palace earlier. He had also received an announcement from Sunrise Sword Emperor earlier. But what did it have to do with Celestial Master Malignity? Well, Celestial Master Malignity is also a sword cultivator and he is extremely gifted. On top of that, his senior was Palace Master Red Lotus. Hence, he was qualified to enter Sword World. Before you appear, the 5 Palace Masters once discussed and intended to give him the quota to enter Sword World. But now, because you have appeared, the Palace Masters passed you the quota to enter Sword World. Hence, he will have to wait for the next round, which is in another 100,000 years. Tell me now, did you offend him? Celestial Master smiled. Jian Wushuang was astonished. He had never expected the quota to enter Sword World that he was given had originally belonged to Celestial Master Malignity. Sword World only opened every 100,000 years. Celestial Master Malignity had waited for so long and it was finally his turn. But because of him, Celestial Master Malignity had to wait until the next opening, which would be in another 100,000 years. One should know that 100,000 years weren't short to Celestial Master Malignity. It would be normal if he was angry. When Sunrise Sword Emperor said that he is going to give me the quota, he never mentioned that it belonged to someone else, Jian Wushuang said. Although the few Palace Masters have the intention, they never confirmed it after all. Hence, it wasn't counted. Celestial Master Yu Ding laughed. Jian Wushuang shrugged. Even so, Celestial Master Malignity blamed him and it was a fact. Otherwise, why would he tell Celestial Master Yu Ding to send him a battle invitation on behalf? Jian Wushuang, Celestial Master Malignity isn't happy about it. Hence, he challenged you. He is also very smart about it. He already spread this news when he sent this invitation. Hence, almost all Celestial Masters in Green Fire Palace know that he sent you a battle invitation. If you were to not take up this challenge, there would be people who gossip. If you were to take up this challenge, Celestial Master Malignity isn't weak, Celestial Master Yu Ding said solemnly. Chapter 1133. Inside Oblivion Palace. He must have spread the word about the invitation. It seems that Celestial Master Malignity has made full preparation and is very confident, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Of course he's confident, Celestial Master Yu Ding said. Celestial Master Malignity has become renowned for a long time ago. He's a long-time Celestial Master of the exceptional realm with exceptional speed. Even the Celestial Masters of Green Fire Palace are no match for him in terms of speed, and many Celestial Masters off the exceptional realm couldn't even defeat him because of that. In addition, the fight will be carried out inside Oblivion Palace. It's a vacant space without obstacles of any kind, allowing him to go full speed. Speed? Celestial Master Yu Ding, are you saying that his speed is his forte? Jian Wushuang's expression turned strange. He had just obtained the Blaze Quicksand Gourd, which could be used to control the Blaze Quicksand. It was the best weapon to restrict his opponent's speed. Now, there was an expert with incredible speed coming to him for a fierce battle. It seemed like the perfect time for him to practice the Blaze Quicksand. Will you accept the invitation? Yu Ding asked. Of course. Jian Wushuang nodded without hesitation. It's better to start early. Let's go, Yu Ding said. Okay. Jian Wushuang followed after Yu Ding. Together, they headed for Oblivion Palace. Oblivion Palace was located on the same land as Green Fire Palace. It looked like an ordinary palace, but its interior was an endless space that was enough to allow two universe masters to battle to their heart's content, let alone two celestial masters. There was already a crowd outside Oblivion Palace when Jian Wushuang and Yu Ding got there. Numerous Green Fire Palace experts stood there, talking in groups of twos or threes. When Jian Wushuang showed up, they all turned to look in his direction. Here comes Jian Wushuang. Ha ha, he really showed up. See, I told you he won't refuse the invitation. Jian Wushuang is incredibly skillful. He might not necessarily lose to Celestial Master Malignity. Of course he won't refuse it. The experts looked on, their excitement building. They had been worried that Jian Wushuang might not accept the invitation, but it seemed like their worries were unnecessary. Jian Wushuang, Celestial Master Malignity has been waiting for you inside Oblivion Palace. You can go in now, Yu Ding said. Okay. Jian Wushuang nodded and then entered the palace. It was dark and vast inside. The palace seemed boundless without an end. A purple-haired man in a luxurious robe stood tall in the dark void. He had his arms folded as he waited quietly for Jian Wushuang's arrival. Before long, the scarlet-robed Jian Wushuang appeared before the purple-haired man with a sword in hand. So, you're Jian Wushuang. Celestial Master Malignity's eyes gleamed with purple light, his gaze fixed on Jian Wushuang. Celestial Master Malignity. Jian Wushuang wore a kind smile on his face. There was no grudge between them in the first place. Celestial Master Malignity's anger was understandable as Jian Wushuang took a spot which was supposed to be his. Humph. I heard that you've made a name for yourself on the battlefield and even earned the praise and approval of the 5 palace masters. Sunrise Sword Emperor even suggested adding your name to the world of swords. Celestial Master Malignity clenched his fists tightly. Celestial Master Malignity. I didn't know that before. Jian Wushuang began to explain himself. Stop with the nonsense. Celestial Master Malignity waved his hand. Since you're so strong, show me what you've got. As soon as he finished speaking, he waved his hand again and tossed a token. HM? Jian Wushuang's expression changed as he looked quizzically at the token that Celestial Master Malignity tossed aside. He could recognize that token. It was used to record the mirror image. People outside Oblivion Palace could not see what was going on inside. If Celestial Master Malignity were to record the battle, it was evident that he wanted to make it public. It seems that Celestial Master Malignity hates me so much that he intends to embarrass me in front of the public. Jian Wushuang wore a faint smile. He was not worried at all. Meanwhile, outside the palace, 2 people stood side by side. They were evidently Sunrise Sword Emperor and Palace Master Red Lotus who had just hurried over from the battlefield. While others could not see what happened inside Oblivion Palace, they could see through everything. Celestial Master Malignity has such a bad temper. Red Lotus, Won't you advise him as his senior sister? Sunrise Sword Emperor frowned. He's supposed to be listed in the world of swords, but Jian Wushuang stole his place. You can't blame him for getting angry over it. Anyone else would have done the same. Besides, my junior brother simply wants to vent his rage. He isn't going to kill him, Red Lotus replied coldly. It was my idea to give the spot to Jian Wushuang. He didn't know about it. If Celestial Master Malignity isn't happy with it, he can come to me anytime. You're not just a palace master. You're also someone with the potential to be the future leader of Green Fire Palace. Do you seriously think that my junior brother will dare to come to you? Red Lotus chuckled. It's too late to talk about this now. Jian Wushuang is as unruly as his father. Isn't this the perfect chance to rectify his insolence? Ha ha, can Celestial Master Malignity teach him a lesson? I don't think so. Sunrise Sword Emperor laughed. What? You think that Celestial Master Malignity can't do anything to the kid? Don't forget that his speed is ranked first among all Celestial Masters. Fighting in Oblivion Palace also gives him an advantage. Even if Jian Wushuang has the strength of a Celestial Master of the Exceptional Realm, he'll still lose, Red Lotus said. Do you want to make a bet? Sunrise Sword Emperor glanced at Red Lotus. What would you like to bet? Red Lotus asked. Not too long ago, I heard you acquired a red source stone weighing over 6 kilograms from the battlefield. I might need it, Sunrise Sword Emperor said. Deal. If you lose, I want you to tutor my junior brother for a year. You must also give him the spot for the World of Swords when it opens in 100,000 years later, Red Lotus said. No problem, Sunrise Sword Emperor answered without hesitation. After the bet had been made, the two of them looked down at Oblivion Palace. Inside the palace, the battle between Jian Wushuang and Celestial Master Malignity had already begun. Chapter 1134. Blaze Quicksand displays its might. Jian Wushuang, I'll teach you how to respect your seniors. Even as Celestial Master Malignity's voice echoed throughout Oblivion Palace, he was already making a dash forward. He moved so swiftly that it felt as if the long distance was nothing. He appeared before Jian Wushuang in a flash. A dazzling arc of ice-cold sword light sliced through the void, aiming at Jian Wushuang almost instantly. His speed. Jian Wushuang was shocked. Though he had been told that Celestial Master Malignity could be extremely fast, he was still astonished by the terrifying display of speed. He had the battle prowess of Celestial Master of the Exceptional Realm, but he could not tell when Celestial Master Malignity drew his sword. The cold sword light was coming for him. As much as he wanted to block the incoming attack, he could not react any further. He drew his Blood Mountain sword to block it from piercing his chest. Clang! A deep crashing noise resounded as the power contained in the cold sword light sent him tumbling backward. Jian Wushuang, I haven't even gone all out against you yet. Celestial Master Malignity's voice resounded. Jian Wushuang's expression darkened. Suddenly, his pupils constricted in surprise. He saw Celestial Master Malignity rushing out with a greater speed this time. It was so fast that he could not hide his astonishment. Once again, Celestial Master Malignity appeared before him and shot him with numerous beams of sword light. The sharp and cold sword lights flew out one after another. Right then, it was as if Jian Wushuang had been trapped by the sea of sword light beams. They were everywhere with no gaps between the sword strikes. He moves quickly, but his sword is even faster. Jian Wushuang's heart pounded furiously as he waved his sword to fend off the attacks. Likewise, he fully unleashed his speed sword principle and swung his Blood Mountain sword forward at an amazing speed. Clang! 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 A series of crashing sounds filled the air like thunder. This. Jian Wushuang's eyes went wide with disbelief. He thought that the speed sword principle that he developed would surpass every other Celestial Master. But now, Celestial Master Malignity's swordsmanship was evidently much faster than his when fully unleashed. It was now a competition of speed for them. Celestial Master Malignity evidently had the upper hand over Jian Wushuang. It was difficult enough to defend himself, never mind matching up to Celestial Master Malignity. I'm barely hanging on. Jian Wushuang wore a grave expression. One of the sword lights sent out by Celestial Master Malignity had gotten through the gap of his defense, stabbing towards his chest. There was no way he could dodge it. Boom! The sharp sword light slammed into his chest and the immense force sent him tumbling backward. It took him a while to regain his balance. Red Lotus smiled faintly when she saw this scene. Sunrise Sword Emperor, you're going to lose. Be patient. The battle has just started. It's too soon to tell, Sunrise Sword Emperor replied coldly. Red Lotus snorted. You're not convinced yet? Well, let's see how Jian Wushuang will play the game. Inside Oblivion Palace, Celestial Master Malignity turned to look at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang, is that all you've got? Celestial Master Malignity smirked and said disdainfully, I heard that you killed a number of Celestial Master experts of the Jin Kingdom during a battle in the Loyalty Palace. Perhaps they were all just a bunch of rubbish? If you encounter a stronger opponent, I guess that you'll have no choice but run away. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. Celestial Master Malignity's speed is indeed incredible. It's no surprise that his speed ranked first among everyone in the Green Fire Palace. Although I've managed to develop the swordplay of speed, I still can't match him in speed. He shook his head. He knew that he lagged behind in terms of speed. The fact that there was no obstruction in Oblivion Palace also gave his opponent a better advantage. If Celestial Master Malignity were to maintain such speed, there would be nothing that he could do. Eventually, he would be defeated. Suddenly, a smirk spread across his face. There is no doubt that I'll be crushed if I fought Celestial Master Malignity before, but now, Jian Wushuang, behave yourself and take this. Celestial Master Malignity howled in a low voice. He swiftly dashed into motion again. His figure appeared to be an illusionary flowing light going through the void. His speed was unprecedented that none of the Celestial Masters of Exceptional Realm could match up to. Other ordinary Celestial Masters could not even think about it. Celestial Master Malignity was peerless even if his opponents were Celestial Masters of the Exceptional Realm. Unfortunately, his rival was Jian Wushuang this time. Seeing that Celestial Master Malignity had dashed toward him again, Jian Wushuang flipped his arm, and a golden gourd appeared in his hand. Oh! Celestial Master Malignity's expression flickered. He had noticed Jian Wushuang's action but paid no heed to it. Meanwhile, outside Oblivion Palace, the mere sight of the golden gourd caused Master Red Lotus pupils to constrict. That is. Holding the golden gourd in hand, Jian Wushuang pulled the cork with the strength of his thought. A wave of terrifying power immediately erupted from the gourd. As it rumbled, seemingly endless quicksand surged out from the opening of the gourd. The quicksand carried a blue flame and contained enormous power. It swiftly swept across the surroundings and engulfed the entire Oblivion Palace in no time. The blaze quicksand pervaded the entire area of the vast void of Oblivion Palace. What's this? Celestial Master Malignity quickly halted to a stop. He frowned and looked around at the vast expanse of blaze quicksand. A bad feeling instantly loomed over him. Jian Wushuang grinned. A wild wind was raving under his control. Suddenly, the blaze quicksand turned into a sandstorm, blasting towards Celestial Master Malignity. Crap! Celestial Master Malignity's face took on a ghastly expression. He tried to move away to dodge the sandstorm. Soon, he found out that the sandstorm was unavoidable. It blasted out in all directions, sweeping through any obstacle barring its path. No matter where he went, the sandstorm would emerge in front of him and surge towards him. Celestial Master Malignity wielded his long sword recklessly, sending out brutal sword essence one after another. He continued struggling against the sandstorm. Suddenly, a ruthless sword light was unleashed by Celestial Master Malignity, ripping up the sandstorm before him. As soon as the sandstorm was broken, a figure charged at him. It was Jian Wushuang. Heaven's Bane. Jian Wushuang wore a cold expression. The Blood Mountain sword in his hand unleashed a terrifying burst of power, getting closer and closer to his opponent. Humph! Celestial Master Malignity snorted, and immediately wielded his sword to fend off the attack. Boom! Celestial Master Malignity was sent flying backward following the loud explosion. He then slammed into the sandstorm behind him. Chapter 1135. gain the upper hand? Boom! The sandstorm burst open and Celestial Master Malignity reappeared. Jian Wushuang grinned. Celestial Master Malignity, your speed is indeed incredible, but you're much weaker than mine strength-wise. It was true that in terms of speed, Celestial Master Malignity was the fastest among all Celestial Masters that he had ever met. However, speaking of offensive power, Celestial Master Malignity was just a little better than an advanced Celestial Master. He was still way below any other Celestial Master of the exceptional realm. When he unleashed Heaven's Bane, Celestial Master Malignity was immediately rendered to a distinct disadvantage since it was a competition of power. Bastard! Celestial Master Malignity looked gloomy. He looked at the blaze quicksand that had engulfed the entire Oblivion Palace. He could feel the terrifying power surging from it. His heart raced as his eyes tracked the blaze quicksand. Celestial Master Malignity, let's see who the loser will be. Jian Wushuang chuckled as he sprang into motion. Celestial Master Malignity moved at the same time. The sandstorm appeared in front of him the moment he moved, blasting him with ferocious power. Damn it! Celestial Master Malignity cursed. He had to stop moving to fend off the sandstorm. However, after being fended off for one time, the sandstorm came blasting again. It came one after another, seemingly without an end. Under the impact of the sandstorm, he could hardly exert his speed. On the contrary, Jian Wushuang could attack as he wished. They were no longer competing in terms of speed, but power instead. If he was not threatened by the blaze quicksand, he could easily dodge Jian Wushuang's attack. But now, he could not do anything. He could only withstand with all his might. When they were fighting head-on, the sword power of Jian Wushuang was way stronger than him. Boom! 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 Rumbling sounds continued to reverberate in Oblivion Palace. Several breaths later, swoosh! Celestial Master Malignity was sent tumbling backward once again. He looked absolutely miserable with his face ashen and blood oozing out of the corners of his mouth. He was evidently badly injured. Jian Wushuang continued to emanate a vigorous aura and his battle prowess was still in peak condition. Celestial Master Malignity, are you convinced now? Jian Wushuang stood before Celestial Master Malignity with a smug smile on his face. Damn! Celestial Master Malignity fixed his gaze at Jian Wushuang. His resentment was rapidly building. He was not convinced at all. He was angry with the fact that the spot to enter the world of swords was given to Jian Wushuang. To make things worse, he could not hurt Jian Wushuang even for a bit. Instead, Jian Wushuang even defeated him. Ever since Jian Wushuang utilized the blaze quicksand gourd, it posed a big obstacle in Celestial Master Malignity's attempt to make use of his speed. Under such circumstance, the strength of Celestial Master Malignity could only be considered slightly better than that of an advanced Celestial Master. Without his speed, he could do nothing but get defeated. When Sunrise Sword Emperor said he'd give me the spot to enter the world of swords to me, I didn't know that you were one of the candidates. I didn't mean to take your place. If you don't believe me, you can ask Sunrise Sword Emperor about it, Jian Wushuang said in a low voice. I know that you're angry, but things happen. Either way, I won't hand you the spot as you wish. If you're still unconvinced, you can pick another fight with me. But let me remind you that you're definitely not powerful enough to defeat me now. He then returned the blaze quicksand to the golden gourd and left without sparing Celestial Master Malignity another glance. Celestial Master Malignity stood there quivering as he watched Jian Wushuang leave. His heart was filled with frustrations. The 5 palace masters commanded the utmost authority in Green Fire Palace. There was nothing he could do if they had decided to let Jian Wushuang enter the world of swords. He just wanted to mess with Jian Wushuang to vent his rage and frustration. But in the end, he did not even get teach Jian Wushuang a lesson and suffered defeat instead. Meanwhile, numerous celestial masters had gathered outside Oblivion Palace to wait for the result. It has been quite some time. Don't you think the battle between Jian Wushuang and Celestial Master Malignity should have ended by now? Who do you think will be the winner? Do you still have to ask? Of course, it'd be Celestial Master Malignity. I agree. His speed gives him an absolute advantage from the beginning. The Celestial Masters chatted among themselves, most of them believing that the winner of the battle would be Celestial Master Malignity. After all, Celestial Master Malignity had made a name for himself a long time ago. His incredible display of speed was also well known. After a while, Jian Wushuang stepped out of Oblivion Palace. The Green Fire Palace experts immediately turned to look in his direction. Jian Wushuang is out. Why is he the one to come out first? What about Celestial Master Malignity? Jian Wushuang looks calm and his aura is steady. It seems like he isn't injured. They all wore strange expressions. Celestial Master Yu Ding came to Jian Wushuang and asked with a smile, "What's the outcome?" "The result?" Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. "You can ask Celestial Master Malignity when he comes out. I'll be leaving first." He ignored the other Celestial Masters and headed for his residence. Those Celestial Masters continued to wait around. Soon, Celestial Master Malignity walked out. They noticed that Celestial Master Malignity had a bitter expression on his face. "Celestial Master Malignity, what's the outcome?" "Celestial Master Malignity, didn't you tell us that you would record the battle with the mirror token? Where is it?" A Celestial Master came to ask him the mirror token. Celestial Master Malignity's face darkened. "I didn't use the mirror token." "What?" The Celestial Masters asked in disbelief. When they received the message, Celestial Master Malignity had clearly said that he would use the mirror token to record the battle. Jian Wushuang is indeed powerful. He gained the upper hand in this battle. That was all Celestial Master Malignity had to say. He ignored the rest of the questions and left immediately. A commotion broke out outside Oblivion Palace. The upper hand? Did Celestial Master Malignity say that Jian Wushuang gained the upper hand? Did he really admit it? How could it be possible? Not losing the battle would be the best result that Jian Wushuang could hope for. How could it be possible that he even gained the upper hand? He didn't even show us the mirror token. Is it true that Jian Wushuang only gained the upper hand? Is there more to the story? These Celestial Masters could not stop thinking about it. Nearly all of them thought that Jian Wushuang would lose the battle, but the result had turned out so differently. Chapter 1136. Golden Axe. Red Lotus and Sunrise Sword Emperor hovered above Oblivion Palace. "Give me the red source stone," Sunrise Sword Emperor said, beaming. The corner of Red Lotus' mouth twitched as she took out the stone with a wave of her hand and handed it to him. "Did you already know that Jian Wushuang has exchanged for the Blaze Quicksand Gourd?" she asked, staring fixedly at him. "Yes, and so do the other 3 palace masters." Sunrise Sword Emperor smiled. "We all think that he has so much potential that he might end up becoming the future leader of Green Fire Palace. We have been keeping an eye on him and naturally know what treasures he exchanged for in the Fire Points exchange office. You, however, look down on him and wouldn't be inclined to pay him any mind. Of course you wouldn't know about that." Red Lotus snorted but did not rebut him. Instead, she said, "Blaze Quicksand Gourd is an extraordinary treasure. The only reason we sold it is that we have our unique treasures and have no use for it. I didn't think he would exchange for it. If I'm not mistaken, the gourd is worth over 200,000 fire points. He hasn't even been in Green Fire Palace for long. Where did he get all those points?" Jian Wushuang obtained many divine soul pills back when Danshan Palace came to the world. "It's more than enough to cover the cost of the gourd," Sunrise Sword Emperor answered. "Is that so?" Red Lotus nodded and then snorted again. "The kid sure is lucky." Then, her figure turned illusory and vanished. Sunrise Sword Emperor followed suit shortly after. Back in Green Fire Palace, Celestial Master Malignity had yet to return to his residence. Celestial Master Malignity. A figure came chasing after him. "Yes?" Malignity turned around. When he saw who it was, his expression relaxed. "It's you, Celestial Master Golden Axe. How may I help you?" he asked. Golden Axe was a short and stout old man with a mellow face and amiable smile. He left a good expression on all those who met him for the first time. Their relationship was decent. Thus, Malignity showed him a little more courtesy. "Nothing much. I'm just curious about what happened in Oblivion Palace." Golden Axe chuckled. Well. Malignity frowned. He would not have been polite if some other celestial master asked him this, but this was Golden Axe after all. He was a comrade that went through life and death with him on the huge battlefield. It's a bit embarrassing. I wanted to teach Jian Wushuang a lesson, but he's stronger than expected. Moreover, he's also equipped with a powerful treasure, Malignity explained. Treasure? What is it? Golden Axe asked. All I know is that it's a golden gourd that pours out a massive amount of quicksand. It's terrifying. The quicksand formed one sandstorm after another to attack me, preventing me from moving at full speed. That was how he gained the upper hand. Though he said that Jian Wushuang gained the upper hand, the truth was that Jian Wushuang had defeated him. I see. Golden Axe frowned. Celestial Master Malignity, the mirror token. I've already told you that I didn't use the mirror token, Malignity said in a low and deep voice. It was a lie, of course. He had used the mirror token since the very beginning and clearly recorded the course of the battle. He would not have minded circulating the mirror image if it was an easy victory over Jian Wushuang. However, he would not be so stupid as to show scenes of his embarrassing defeat to others. I see. Then I shall ask no further, Golden Axe said, face full of smiles. Malignity nodded and took his leave. Meanwhile, Golden Axe headed for Jian Wushuang's mansion. My young friend Jian Wushuang, I'm Golden Axe. I'm here to visit you. Jian Wushuang had just returned to his mansion. His expression changed after hearing the old man's booming voice. Golden Axe. Celestial Master Golden Axe. He knew some of the celestial masters of Green Fire Palace. Naturally, he had heard of Golden Axe. Golden Axe kept an incredibly low profile. He was never one to flaunt or easily get into fights with other celestial masters of Green Fire Palace. Moreover, he was truly a good-natured, kind person. Both his temper and public reputation was equally as good. Typically, he would not refuse requests from those in Green Fire Palace, be it lending fire points or researching formations. Even if other celestial masters were in danger on the battlefield and asked for his help, he would also spare no effort in trying to rescue them even at the expense of his life. If other celestial masters harmed his interests or wronged him, he would usually smile and let it go as long as it was not too serious an offense. He was candid, loyal, and incredibly generous. Even though he was only an advanced celestial master, the others respected him greatly. They were all delighted to befriend him. Hence, he enjoyed the greatest popularity in Green Fire Palace. Jian Wushuang immediately came out to welcome Golden Axe when he learned that the latter was his guest. I'm Jian Wushuang. Nice to meet you, Celestial Master Golden Axe, Jian Wushuang said humbly. Ha ha. My young friend, you're too polite. You're stronger than me. I don't deserve such etiquette. Golden Axe laughed amiably. If you don't mind, you can call me Golden Axe or Brother Golden Axe. Sure. Jian Wushuang nodded with a smile. Brother Golden Axe, please come in. He led Golden Axe into the mansion and the two of them sat down by a table. With a wave of his hand, he took out some fine wine and dishes. My young friend, I come to seek a friendship with you. I'm also curious about your battle with Celestial Master Malignity, Golden Axe said. There was nothing important about the battle. I simply got lucky and gained the upper hand. Jian Wushuang deflected the topic with a short and simple sentence. Oh. Golden Axe asked no further. He began chatting with Jian Wushuang about the other matters in Green Fire Palace instead. After drinking and chatting for half a day, Golden Axe Celestial Master finally stood up and was about to leave. Chapter 1137, Quicksand Realm. This is my message token, my young friend. Let me know if there is anything I can do for you. Celestial Master Golden Axe handed Jian Wushuang a message token and then took his leave. Take care. Jian Wushuang saw him off. Now alone, Jian Wushuang turned the message token over in his hand with a strange smile on his face. Celestial Master Golden Axe sure is a good person. He treats me so warmly though we've just met. He smiled, having had a favorable impression of Golden Axe. Gu King snorted. He would have died many times over if you put him in the eternal chaotic world. He sure is lucky to have survived for several million years in Green Fire Palace. Well, Jian Wushuang was stupefied. He knew how cruel this world could be. People like Golden Axe typically would not survive long here, yet Golden Axe became an exception to the rule. Putting him aside, I've just fought Celestial Master Malignity and learned the true power of the Blaze Quicksand Gourd. I need to find a way to cultivate the secret skill concealed in the gourd. Only then will I be able to master the real Blaze Quicksand realm, Jian Wushuang murmured. He then returned to his secret chamber and began isolating himself. Meanwhile, Golden Axe did not travel far away from Jian Wushuang's mansion before stopping midair. He glanced at the mansion, a cold and insidious expression taking over his typically amicable face. Jian Wushuang. I didn't expect he'd acquire such an extraordinary treasure after just returning from the battlefield. To think it could even restrict Celestial Master Malignity's speed. His defense will be enhanced even further with such a treasure. Looks like it'll be even harder to kill him now. However, hard as it is, there will still be an opportunity. I must be patient, take it slowly, and befriend him first. Since the world of swords would not open for another 40 years, Jian Wushuang isolated himself in the secret chamber to cultivate the secret skill inside the Blaze Quicksand Gourd. The abstruse secret skill required the use of the Blaze Quicksand Gourd. After studying the skill for a long time, he finally found the method to do so. He finally mastered the secret skill after 31 years. I finally made it. He opened his eyes, which were filled with joy. With the cultivation of the secret skill complete, he took out the golden gourd and pulled out the plug without hesitating. Under his control, the Blaze Quicksand surged out of the gourd. Quicksand Realm. Jian Wushuang's gaze sharpened as he used the skill. Then, the madly surging Blaze Quicksand combined in a distinct rhythm and filled the entire secret chamber. Whoosh! An immaterial realm was formed. The realm was formed entirely out of dense Blaze Quicksand and would focus its pressure in the direction that Jian Wushuang thought of. Boom! The space inside the secret chamber erupted under the immense pressure. The pressure was strong enough to cause Celestial Masters to tremble. Terrific! Jian Wushuang's eyes glinted. Since he was the master of this realm, he knew just how strong it was. He was sure that if he maximized the power of the realm, it would be enough to crush ordinary Celestial Masters. He could even grind an advanced Celestial Master into ash with the pressure of the realm. Only experts stronger than Celestial Master of the exceptional realm could survive the pressure. Even so, their overall strength would be largely restricted. Take Celestial Master Malignity for example. Malignity was the fastest Celestial Master in the entire Green Fire world. However, Jian Wushuang estimated that Malignity could only exert 10% of his regular speed at most while trapped in the Quicksand realm. Moreover, Malignity could also only exert 30% of his full strength at most. Considering how much Malignity's strength would be suppressed in a true battle between them, Jian Wushuang was confident of emerging the victor if he used all his might. How fearsome! When I was weak, I cultivated several skills that involved the use of realms, but those skills could at most reduce my opponent's strength by 10 to 20%. I was never able to crush my opponent to death using the realm's pressure alone. The pressure of the Quicksand realm has exceeded all expectations. Since it could reduce the strength of ordinary Celestial Masters of exceptional realm by 70%, I bet it'll also affect Universe Masters. With this realm, anyone weaker than the exceptional realm won't be able to threaten me anymore. Even if a dozen or over 100 advanced Celestial Masters team up to attack me, nearly no one would be able to escape once I activate the realm. Jian Wushuang sighed emotionally. He had never felt more excited before. The might of the Blaze Quicksand Gourd was far beyond his imagination. It's still too early to be happy. Mighty as the Quicksand realm is, it's only useful against certain Celestial Masters. It's still not powerful enough to deal with Universe Masters. Of course, once you become a Dao Master and make great breakthroughs in your strength, even Universe Masters won't be able to belittle your technique, Jiu King said. Jian Wushuang frowned. Treasures required the user's strength to exert their power. For example, Jian Wushuang had only succeeded in using a Chaos Divine treasure, the Mountain River map, once, and it only happened after he engulfed King Luo Zhan's essence blood. Typically, he would not be able to use the Mountain River map. In contrast, Quicksand Realm required less strength from him. Even so, Jian Wushuang was barely able to summon a small portion of the realm's power. He would have to enhance his strength to maximize the use of the realm. The Quicksand Realm gives me another trump card. The World of Swords is going to open in 9 years. This is a big opportunity that can't be missed. In the following 9 years, I should prepare adequately so I can secure the greatest harvest there. Then, he started his preparation for the World of Swords. Chapter 1138. A Tall Tree. 9 years swiftly passed. Jian Wushuang was still in his secret chamber when an indifferent man with a long sword on his back appeared above Jian Wushuang's mansion. Jian Wushuang. His cold voice traveled through many layers of restrictions to reach Jian Wushuang's ears. Jian Wushuang was immediately awakened. His body turned illusory and in the following second, he appeared in front of the man. Sunrise Sword Emperor. Jian Wushuang bowed to the man. It's been 100,000 years. The World of Swords is opening again. Come with me, Sunrise Sword Emperor said. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded, despite the surprise he felt inside. He thought Sunrise Sword Emperor would send someone to take him to the World of Swords. He followed Sunrise Sword Emperor to the wormhole of Green Fire Palace. They traveled through the wormhole and arrived somewhere on the massive battlefield. Is the location of the secret land of the World of Swords? Jian Wushuang frowned as he scanned his surroundings. He saw a giant and boundless plain covered in a dense layer of grass. The most eye-catching thing on the plain was a tall tree. Though it was big and tall, it did not look very different from ordinary trees. Jian Wushuang followed Sunrise Sword Emperor as they walked up to the tree. The World of Swords lies inside the tree, Sunrise Sword Emperor said in an emotionless voice. What? Inside the tree? Jian Wushuang asked in surprise. The secret land of the World of Swords was inside such an ordinary tree. Be patient. We'll wait here for a moment and soon you'll get your answer. Sunrise Sword Emperor closed his eyes. Thus, Jian Wushuang stayed and waited. Just like that, 3 days quickly passed. Suddenly, an ancient aura came out of the tree and its central trunk began to wriggle. It's time. Sunrise Sword Emperor opened his eyes and stared at the tree. Jian Wushuang followed suit in staring fixedly at the tree. The trunk continued to wriggle until a dark and spiraling tunnel appeared. This tunnel that led to a mysterious world was big enough for one person. This is the tunnel to the World of Swords. Remember, you can stay there for no more than 10 years. Whether or not you achieve anything, you'll be sent back when the deadline comes. Of course, you'll achieve a lot considering how talented you are, Sunrise Sword Emperor explained. 10 years? Jian Wushuang gave a small nod. That's enough talk. Get in, Sunrise Sword Emperor said. Jian Wushuang entered the mysterious spiraling tunnel without hesitation. He reappeared as a light flared and found himself still on a plain. Jian Wushuang frowned as he examined his surroundings. He was still on a large and boundless plain, which seemed identical to the one he was on before. He also spotted a tall tree here. The difference was that this tree was much larger than the one he saw across the tunnel. He stared at the tree in astonishment. This is enormous. This tree was tens of thousands of times and even hundreds of thousands of times larger than the tree before. It was enough to shock him. He had never seen such a large tree in his entire life. He even thought that this tree might be bigger than the entire eternal world. When Jian Wushuang took a closer look at the tree, it appeared different. This isn't a tree. This is a huge sword. Jian Wushuang's voice was trembling. It was indeed a massive sword. It was a sword that could shock the whole world. No, that's not right. Jian Wushuang squinted. This time, he focused on the trunk of the tree. Millions of branches extended from the lush tree, forming such a full cover that they looked like a palm leaf fan. There were still countless leaves on the tiny branches. Jian Wushuang correctly guessed that the tree was not simply a huge sword. Its branches and leaves could all turn into swords. These swords all contained a perfect sword principle each. This large tree was a huge sword that contained a complete sword principle. This sword principle was also the strongest one. The trunk was a sword with a complete sword principle of the creation level. Each branch was a sword with a complete sword principle of the universe level. Even the individual leaf was a sword with a complete sword principle of the general level. There was an abundance of sword principles here. These distinct and different sword principles were in perfect harmony. Most importantly, they were all derived from the tree. Is this a single sword that yields millions of swords? Jian Wushuang was utterly stupefied. He was this shocked because he had figured out the principle of the tree. The tree that was not an actual tree was, in fact, a complete and amazing sword principle. Most of all, in the same manner that a tree would grow branches and leaves, this sword principle also grew thousands of principles of the creation, universe, and general levels. What an incredible sword principle! What an incredible method! I put so much effort into studying coalescent sword principle all so I can gather different sword principles and coalesce them. But this tree grows hundreds of thousands of sword principles. It's completely opposite to my method. Jian Wushuang stared fixedly at the tree. In just a split second, he had gained many realizations. Unification sword and derivative swords had completely opposing natures. Nevertheless, they shared many similarities. Previously, Jian Wushuang had focused on learning to unify sword principles. He had failed to perfect it as he had done the coalescence clumsily. Now, as he stared at the tree, he came to realize the flaw in his process. Derivative swords means growing like a tree. The coalescent sword principle is just like millions of rivers converging to form the vast sea. Jian Wushuang's eyes gleamed. Chapter 1139. Coalescence. Jian Wushuang sat down cross-legged in the world of swords, concentrating on the tree in front of him. He continued to receive enlightenment. Simultaneously, he could faintly find his own path. It was a path that could lead him to turn the coalescent sword principle of the creation level into the strongest sword principle. Coalescent sword principle, namely unification sword, will unite everything in the same way the sea converges all rivers. All rivers flow into the sea. He gradually closed his eyes and began to carefully study the sword principle. He carefully observed the way the tree derived, and the image turned into a huge picture in his mind. There was a core in the middle of the picture, branching out into numerous light rays. What he was currently doing was integrating the countless lights into the core. His understanding of the coalescent sword principle deepened as time passed. VAR Axid 6327 document, element by XI 6327, SSP 6327-math, floor date now. Windowed at pubic stag, windowed pubic stag, windowed pubic stag. It would have taken him years to figure out the way and direction to break through. However, being able to watch the tree grow in the world of swords made his task much simpler. Comprehension became much easier now that he had a direction in mind. 10 years passed just like that as he meditated. Jian Wushuang opened his eyes as he sat before the tree, his sword essence now completely changed. It used to be fierce and aggressive, but it was now like a huge black hole that swallowed everything around him. His sword essence was as deep as a bottomless pit. It was mysterious, magnificent, and ready to embrace the whole world. Coalescent sword principle is the first sword principle that I developed, and it's finally at its strongest level after continuous evolution. Jian Wushuang looked pleasantly surprised. In his 10 years in the world of swords, he had succeeded in advancing the coalescent sword principle through the continuous evolution in his mind. The coalescent sword principle of the strongest level could contain all sword principles of inferior levels. It could also contain his 2 other sword principles, speed sword principle and yin-yang sword principle, as they were only of the creation level. Just then, he felt an incorporeal fluctuation sweeping him. He was surprised. My time here is up just as I finished evolving the coalescent sword principle. Perfect timing. Jian Wushuang grinned. With a flash of light, he reappeared outside of the world of swords. He found himself standing in front of a tree that was neither as tall as the one in the world of swords or carried the same special sword essence. Sunrise Sword Emperor was waiting for him. Swoosh! Jian Wushuang walked out of the tree under a flickering light. HM. VAR Axid 10081 document, element by Dex ID 10081, SSP 10081-math, floor date now. Windowed Pubakstag Windowed Pubakstag Windowed Pubakstag Sunrise Sword Emperor was surprised when he saw Jian Wushuang. He was, after all, the #1 sword cultivator in the Green Fire world and second to none in terms of sword principles. Sensitive to sword principles as he was, he could clearly sense the amazing change in Jiang Wushuang. Congratulations, Jian Wushuang, Sunrise Sword Emperor said. Jian Wushuang laughed brightly. I could detect a majestic sword essence from you. It seems capable of containing everything. If I'm not mistaken, you must have developed a strongest sword principle, Sunrise Sword Emperor said. Yes. I've named it Coalescent Sword Principle, Jian Wushuang answered frankly. Coalescence Sword Principle? Unification Sword? Interesting. Sunrise Sword Emperor nodded. Since you've developed a strongest sword principle, I think you'll soon become a Tao Master and then a Celestial Master. When that day comes, I'd like to have a battle with you. Okay. Jian Wushuang nodded with a smile. Inside Jian Wushuang, Jiu King laughed. He's gifted in sword principle but lacks a broad outlook being confined in the Green Fire world. He doesn't realize your real potential. He wants to fight with you when you become a Celestial Master? That's unnecessary. You can even beat him after becoming a Tao Master. Well, Jian Wushuang was speechless. Well, let's go back, Sunrise Sword Emperor said. He then took Jian Wushuang back to Green Fire Palace quickly. Sunrise Sword Emperor excused himself after they arrived at the palace. Jian Wushuang also began his preparation to become a Tao Master. If he wanted to be a Tao Master from the Eternal Realm, the most crucial thing to do was developing his own path. Jian Wushuang had already developed his own path and fulfilled other factors for his breakthrough. He had been suppressing his level because he was waiting to develop a strongest sword principle. Now that he had succeeded, it was naturally time to become a Tao Master. Nevertheless, he was an inverse cultivator. Compared to ordinary warriors, it was harder for him to break through and thus needed a complete preparation. You probably won't face any problems in breaking through, but as an inverse cultivator, you may cause a commotion. You might attract unnecessary attention if you make your breakthrough here, Jiu King said. I see. Jian Wushuang gave a small nod. Since Tao Masters were among top experts in the Green Fire world, it was normal for there to be a commotion when a warrior tried to advance into a Tao Master. He would cause an even greater stir as an inverse cultivator. He had proven his potential with his absolute strength and convinced many Celestial Masters of Green Fire Palace to acknowledge him. Since there was no need to show off again, he should find an isolated place and complete his breakthrough alone. Why don't you do it on the battlefield? The battlefield is massive. Though there would be many experts of Green Fire Palace and the Jin Kingdom wandering around, it will be hard to come across any of them. I can find a secret place to break through there, and I doubt I'll be disturbed. Besides, I've planned to enter the battlefield after the breakthrough all along. With that, Jian Wushuang made up his mind. He then left for the battlefield once again. Few people knew about his departure, save for several Palace Masters and Celestial Masters whom he informed. However, Celestial Master Golden Axe somehow got wind of it. Chapter 1140. Breakthrough. Jian Wushuang left for the battlefield again? Celestial Master Golden Axe muttered to himself after hearing about Jian Wushuang's departure. He's close to being as strong as a Celestial Master of the Exceptional Realm and must have improved even more after returning from the World of Swords. I don't think Celestial Masters of the Exceptional Realm can defeat him. It'd take a Universe Master to kill him. I must be patient. He has just left. If I ask about it immediately, he might suspect me. I'll wait and find a way to pinpoint his position after he's been on the battlefield for a while. With a plan in mind, Golden Axe also left for the battlefield soon after. Over on the battlefield, Jian Wushuang continued on the same path that he had gone through before. It took him 20 years to arrive at the Chilliwind Valley. Chilliwind Valley. Jian Wushuang stared at the massive pit in front of him. It was so mysterious at the bottom that he could not help wanting to investigate it. He recalled his narrow escape last time. He knew just how dangerous this valley was. When the blood cold wind blew, even a Universe Master would be crushed into pieces, never mind him. This was the farthest place I reached when I came alone last time. Later on, I received the order to go to Danshin Palace. Since I'm going to venture on the battlefield once again, I'll just start from here. Jian Wushuang smiled. Since it's pretty desolate here, I don't think I'll come across other experts. I'll find a spot here to make my breakthrough. With a shift of his body, he appeared inside a palace atop a mountain in the Chiliwind Valley and sat down cross-legged. He waved his hand and many elixirs appeared in front of him, each of which would help him during the process. Besides, he also activated a formation. It was the Spirit Gathering formation that covered a small parameter. It could converge more heaven and earth spiritual energy and help with his breakthrough. Now fully prepared, he took a deep breath and then closed his eyes. As he moved, a horrible force quickly spread in all directions. It caused the heaven and earth spiritual energy that the Spirit Gathering formation gathered to pour into his body. Before long, the energy collected in him reached a saturation point. It's beginning. Jian Wushuang opened his eyes, revealing a pair of gleaming pupils. His Blood Mountain sword appeared in his hand. Break! He brandished Blood Mountain sword following a shout. Under the guidance of the coalescent sword principle, a horrible sword shadow burst forth and cleave a towering mountain thousands of miles away in half. The bottleneck in his body trembled under the pressure of the sword principle but did not immediately break down. Again. Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold. Instead of getting frustrated, he brandished his sword again. He brandished his sword again and again. Meanwhile, the vast spiritual power accumulated in his body continued to frantically attack the bottleneck. His face began to pale after dozens of attempts. His mouth was bleeding, too. Even so, the bottleneck remained the same. I didn't expect it to be so hard, he muttered in disbelief. If you're a normal warrior, you would have already succeeded. This level of difficulty is expected for you as an inverse cultivator, Gu King said. Be patient. You can continue accumulating spiritual power like. I think it will work after another dozen times. Jian Wushuang nodded and then quickly swallowed the elixirs in front of him. The elixirs poured abundant spiritual power into his body. Go on. Keep breaking. Jian Wushuang shouted as he once again brandished his sword. This time, he used Heaven's Bane. Heaven's Bane, powerful with irresistible force, was developed based on the yin-yang sword principle. This time, he used it alongside the coalescent sword principle and it turned out to be even more powerful. The coalescent sword principle contained thousands of sword principles. Since the yin-yang sword principle was not the strongest, it was included as well. The coalescent sword principle, as a result, could perfectly demonstrate Heaven's Bane and make it even stronger. Death Shadow could be used in the same way. Death Shadow could also be used perfectly with the help of the coalescent sword principle. Boom! His mouth bled again, but this time, his eyes were gleaming. He could sense a crack in the bottleneck. The bottleneck was about to break down. Even a small leak would sink a great ship. With a crack in the bottleneck, the rest would be easy to handle. Again. Jian Wushuang clenched his teeth and brandished his sword again. This time, he used Death Shadow. Boom! The crack in the bottleneck became bigger. Go on. Jian Wushuang brandished his sword again and again, crazily lashing at the bottleneck. The crack in the bottleneck became bigger and bigger until the entire bottleneck snapped. Jian Wushuang trembled sharply and bellowed as the bottleneck inside him collapsed completely. I made it. I'm a Dao master. His eyes glinted with golden light. The moment his bottleneck collapsed, vast spiritual power coursed through his 8 extraordinary meridians. His aura also skyrocketed at an amazing speed. Boom! Changes occurred in the universe as his breakthrough affected everything around him. Dark clouds gathered above him. A majestic aura ripped through the world, exerting such great pressure that he could not stop it from spreading in all directions. Suddenly, the majestic aura bathed the radius of 1,000,000 miles around him. Jian Wushuang could clearly feel everything around him, from the void to the earth itself, shiver under the force of his power. It was as if he was the master of this universe.